Okay. That says I'm alive. Okay, cool. Uh, so just a heads up to anyone watching the VOD, because according to my analytics, there's nobody actually here yet. I am sick. I do have myself an energy drink, so hopefully I won't fall asleep during the stream. Stream starting like 1 minute late because I was having too much fun like listening to the preview, and then because the preview was playing through my headset, it was then being picked up and played through the stream, which meant that there was like a 30-second delay between me making like a noise, like I was just like clicking my tongue, and then it would start looping the clicking, and then I would make different noises, and yeah, I was just having fun with that. And then I figured like I should probably wait for all of that, like mute it, and then wait for all of that to transition out before I started the stream, because otherwise there would just basically be a like a stupid like a cappella me fucking making music with myself. Anyway, this stream is going to be porting my Minecraft clone to 0.14, and then I guess I'm going to try and add multiplayer. Like I don't know if there's any updated crates that have multiplayer yet on Bevy, like for 14, but it'll be fun. I did just get channel memberships, and one of the things I offered was like anyone that supports on like the second tier and up gets to join multiplayer shit that I do. And so I figured I should probably actually work on something that's going to potentially at some point be multiplayer. I don't know how I'll be able to host it and join, because I think Starlink doesn't have IPv4, and I have no idea how to connect someone IPv6, so we'll work that out in the future. Up first is just to, I guess, cargo run everything and see what compiles at 0.42. Probably should have done this before starting the stream, but I was kind of like, I'm going to accidentally end up porting half of this shit just because I'll get distracted. I was like, with my membership, I got sick-ass little emoticons. Like, yeah, it's awesome. So, yeah, channel membership is just a thing. If anyone wants to support me that way, the Patreon will be getting closed when I work out how to close Patreon, and then I've moved over to Ko-Fi. So it's just like moral objections to how Patreon's been treating their creators. So the fact that the service is getting worse and worse because they feel like they've got a monopoly, I've decided I'll leave. Like, it's not going to make any difference to them, but it'll at least mean that the competition gets my customers, and it's kind of like one of those. If I make it easier for more people to want to swap over, or like if people are already using Ko-Fi to support me, then it's easy for other creators to swap over, and because like a portion of their audience will already be using it. Because that's kind of why people aren't using Patreon, I guess, or like why people keep using Patreon. Why are you compiling the wrong version of Bevy? That's not the right version of Bevy. Like how to explain. Oh god, I'm dying. I think that Rapier is not updated. I forgot the plot of what I was trying to explain. Like it's like people use Patreon because everyone uses Patreon, which means that you can be sure that your audience is going to be on board with using it. Whereas using something like Ko-Fi, a lot of people get rid of it because it's like, well, everyone just supports them on Patreon if you offer both. So why do the hassle of trying to support both? So, and I morally object to one. So I'm like, okay, I'll just support the smaller niche one, because if we can make it the majority option, then it's better. Let's see. Obviously, it's not going to affect you guys. I'm just looking around the monitor to see if Bevy Rapier doc. I need to somehow work out how to get the... I want to know what Bevy version the docs are up to, or like the plugin supports. Bevy Rapier, official Rapier plugin for Bevy, last updated last month. Okay, well that's obviously not going to be it, because that... Okay, is there like a branch? Because it's obviously not going to compile because it's got the wrong wrong versions of everything. So that's not much fun. This is the beauty of porting something over like when something's just come out, because obviously it's going to be a while before so we might have to like branch Bevy Rapier and port that first. So I guess we'll do that. Go to my YouTube drive and go new folder. We're just gonna call it depths, and then we're gonna go here, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go clone repository, clone that repository, choose a location, depths please, select, and then we'll just go URL because select file. Okay, and then we clone this. So that's Bevy Rapier being cloned, and then someone's already ported Bevy Editor please. The console, we're just gonna say maybe bugger that off because I really can't be bothered trying to port too many things at once. Future light, UAD, noise, strum rand. Okay. So that's been fixed with this patch. So hopefully it's not the editor that's going to be causing these issues. Though possibly, because it is explaining EGUI widgets, which I would think would be the Bevy check out. Oh god, this is being sick for you. I'm just gonna quickly grab a box of tissues to set up next to my my computer. So I'll be right back. I'm just gonna mute myself. This is like the weirdest cold I've ever had. My nose won't run for like an hour, and then suddenly it'll just start fucking like pouring liquid out of it. It's just the most disgusting thing ever. Okay. What am I doing? So, method UI. Is that something I'm implementing? No, that's the. I don't get this though, because it's saying UI. This isn't mine, is it? This is perverted. So do I have to like cargo update or something? Maybe. It's possible that that's the case. Okay. Bevy Rapier 3D. Oh god, what the fuck? My brain is cooked. Depths. Okay, so pointing that to the right version. Nope, you're complaining. So capital D slash I, is it this then? Is that what you're saying? No? It definitely goes like this. This. this? Have I turned insert on? What the fuck is going on? Wait, let's go CMD. What the fuck does the symbol look like? It's drive capital letter shift backslash. Is it this bit? Does it need to be a backslash for it to work in fucking Windows? What the fuck are you complaining about? Unable to update caused by found a virtual manifest at instead of okay, so that's probably, if I was to guess, to do with the fact that they have 3D in here, and so we have to go like that maybe, like that. Yeah, fucking Windows and its fucking backslash. Does that work now? Yes. Okay, so I had to actually point to the 3D. You can't just point into the general repository. So this has all been updated. So hopefully one of the issues. I just clicked update again. Oops. I'm hoping that the issue it was running into is that it was using like an old version of like one of the EGUI crates or something, and that was causing the override here not to find the thing and say that it was incompatible. So we're gonna open a folder. I'm gonna go D depths Bevy Rapier. I'm gonna like just open Bevy Rapier 3D. Does this use? Let's just got examples. Okay, fine. We'll open this because this is like the whole Git. Did that open a sec? No, it. Okay. So this is where everything is. Tunnel, and then we're gonna go. Okay. So that kind of implies members of lib. Does that mean that none of this has any dependencies? Resolve it to right, because that's saying like this is where everything's declared. So your features dependencies. Look, Bevy version 14. So maybe we just have to point at the GitHub, because it's definitely up to date. Fucking I don't know. Can we just point to the GitHub then, or maybe we'll just point to my local copy of it then? Oh, look, my screen's went out. Oh no, can't see shit. What happened? What have I done? Oh, something went beep. Did my computer crash? Okay. Well, get my phone out and see if I can see what's happening on the stream on my phone. I fucking don't know what I've done. Yeah, gotta go to YouTube. Gotta view YouTube from the mobile app so that I can actually see it, because otherwise you don't get access to this shit. Go live. Don't pull me across to the fucking. Yeah, no, my whole screen's have got out. I'm gonna have to restart my computer. I can't see shit. Question is any of it visible on the stream? Something went wrong. Okay. Okay, no, that's busted. Oh, back. It's back. Okay. Press the power button and it came back, which is scary because now I feel like I pressed the power button. It's just gonna re-fucking start on me. So that's always fun. Okay. So I don't know what happened there. The screens just went black. So that was fucking bizarre. Oh no, code. Come on, code. Right. So this is the updated version. So we're gonna like open the Minecraft clone, and where instead of saying I kind of just want to wildcard the version. If we force it to be the latest version, is that going to fix the problem? I feel like the issue is that it's actually crashing earlier from you rather than this. See, because patching the location is going to be fine, because patching the location yeah, no, see, it's still downloading Bevy renderer and shit. Okay, so we're gonna have to turn off the editor, because the editor is not working. There's no point continuing the compile because it's compiling the wrong version of Bevy. Okay. What am I just screwing around on too many monitors is what I'm doing. Just drop in a general chat. Minimize that. Okay, let's see what's happening. Are we still getting the wrong version? It's probably not going to compile simply because we've got the editor still going in somewhere. Somewhere I include the editor. Maybe editor, please. So we'll get rid of that, because removing the editor will, in theory, make it compilable, at least to the level of not breaking. What am I trying to open? I'm just trying to open this one, I think. Here we go. Okay, dokie doke. Gotta love the compiling. It just takes so long. Oh. Oh. What am I looking for? Assets 2D? Well, I really should just look through the Bevy assets more. Let's bring this onto this screen so you can see as well. But it's been so long since I've been on Bevy assets because I'm looking for a multiplayer asset. Look at this, like there's actually like a whole bunch of different like crates and stuff that have come out. Admittedly, like half of them are out of date, which is it's always fun. There's a nice particle system. There's a voxel plugin, and then there's a pixelating mixture. Bevy plus OpenAI. Anyway, one of these is called like networking, isn't it? Networking, and we're gonna hope high level networking library for network events. Okay. Client server game networking plugin using quick notification. MQTT. That sounds familiar. MQTT. Okay. HTTP. Matchbox isn't updated yet. Networking library built on. Now, Well, let's continue that once we've got the thing compiling. Bevy console. Okay. Right, we removed the console plugin as well because, again, I don't want to like port every plugin that I was using. Any commands name? Alright, god damn it. I did not realize I had to put that functionality into this thing. World, okay. Fucking comment out world commands because we don't use them. Something's gonna have a problem with that. Yeah, because we add the world command, but that's why I've like hidden it away. Yeah, can't use the editor please at the moment. And then easier system commands, unresolved import. Do they rename this? If we get rid of that, then it's going to break something down here. Implement. It says world command. I don't know. Just chase the compiler errors down. Color blue, no variant. Really? Well, what the fuck variants are there then? Black, white, none apparently. Align? Is it because it's called like linear RGB now? Blue. Bevy color palettes tail. Okay, well, just use that blue then, and then camera dot forward founder 3. Cast ray takes in a okay, camera dot forward dot as vec3. I don't know what a fucking dir3 is. Okay. They changed how app run works now. Because right, it returns an error type now, which means that you can't just return nothing. Handle weak. I kind of wish they had stopped touching this shit. Okay. No, so weak from UUID is still like a valid thing that you can do. Did we just say 0? No. So you need something to into asset ID. Yes, okay. The trait bound plugin handle into is not satisfied by the am I supposed to just give you a 0 or whatever it was? That not 0, it was something else. Oh, let's semicolon there. Right down here. Do we just say ID and then 2U128? Like, is that what you're saying? You need to be something? No. Bevy assets, asset ID. Index? No. Yeah, no, UUID. Something like that. Does this have an into function on it? No, okay. It would be like UUID from you. This is getting complicated. Every time I have to tweak something here because they change it. But it wasn't even in the update notes, so I don't know why it's broken. Hopefully this works. Hey, I kind of want to add water next, actually. Hmm. Oh, we could like we could fix our greedy meshing algorithm. That would probably also be like a half decent idea of how to improve the plugin. I also feel like it should be why do I keep going up? Hmm. I have no idea how long it takes to generate a chunk. Alright, we might fix the greedy meshing first, just because it looks kind of hideous, and I would rather it'll be like singular big chunk rather than lots of little like strands. This, if I remember correctly, was just me being lazy. Because like I since wrote the code to make it do it properly, but part of like what makes it be able to clip through like this is because it's actually lots of small ones and not one big one. So the engine's struggling with the fact that I'm pretty sure I'm standing on the collider that I was standing on. So it breaks the physics engine in the fact that there's colliders inside of the mesh, like we break in. See, like it can't tell what's inside and what's outside. So I can just walk through these because technically both inside a different mesh, so it doesn't like it. So how do we fix that? It's got to be in world chunk maybe. Make mesh. No, it's not going to be make mesh. Make mesh must generate something else. Gen mesh, gen water mesh. Okay. And then gen collider. Here we go. Gen collider. Okay, so indices 012230. Okay. Side length, half length, negative half length. I don't know why I've turned that into a constant, but okay. Probably just make it more readable. Oh god, I've copied and pasted. Oh god, this code is so badly written. I love it. I'm so bad. I definitely wrote this more efficiently once, but if I'll be able to remember it, it's like a different thing. Okay, so concentrate. Okay, indices. This is a vec. Indices, which is a vec of nude. Okay, is solid. Blocks it a filter block type is sort of count equals 0. If solid half length constant chunk size divided by 2 return collider half length half length half length. Okay. So basically we iterate through it. If the entire block is solid, we return the solid. Okay. I don't remember what my chunk size is. Well, apparently it's 16. It's literally right there. Okay. So how do I do this fast? And I don't mean actual fast, I just mean like how do I do this in a way that it's not gonna take me fucking hours to okay. Let's go to here. Let's go here, go here, go. Add existing repository, change path, and then we're gonna go not YouTube. It's on my old drive. Quickly, so where's this PC? F. It's called like it must be old drive Rust stuff projects Minecraft client. There we go. Ah. Okay. There we go. All right. So I need to like commit this so that when I go and break everything, it still works. Okay, so we're going to commit that. This means I'm now capable of like just going in here and saying this is the fucking worst code that I've probably ever written. Okay. Now, admittedly, this is a very cheeky way. right? Because we're going to go chunk size, chunk size, chunk size, and then we go let current. Okay, no, that's gen. Oh no, still in something important here. Yeah, yeah. Nope, that's gen water mesh. Okay, we need to close all this. This is badly written code. Okay, so you. Okay, so we go is solid. We count the number of solid blocks, and then we. Okay. Then we're going to come down to here, and we're going to go one of these closes the gen. Okay. I feel like that it returns only some if it actually is solid. Like, if it generates a light then we're going to be like, else if... Oh, no, is solid is like... Okay. We're going to like let... solid solid underscore blocks equals, and then we're going to run this bit of code, right? And we're going to count up every solid block in the thing, and we're just going to say, hey, if solid equals if solid block equals 0, not solid block. Okay, if not solid blocks equals 0, it means that the entire thing is filled with solid blocks. Return a half square. If else if it's not if not solid blocks equals chunk size times chunk size it's just chunk volume, isn't it? I've literally got a thing for that. Chunk volume. Like this and this, and then return none. So as you size. Okay, so what we're doing is we're basically saying if there's 0 not solid blocks, return a solid square collider, because there's no blocks in the entire thing that you can ever pass through, so a solid block will encase the entire chunk. Then we say if the number of not solid blocks is equal to the number of blocks in a chunk, return none, because there is no collider, as in like every block in this chunk is passable, and therefore every chunk in, like, there's no point generating the collider. The block is empty. Right, I'm gonna here. I'm gonna go. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna say we need to, like, this code is extremely optimizable in like binary. Like, I keep seeing, like, people keep linking me to the Tintin video or 1010 video. I lost it. Anyway, he's got a video and he shows how to optimize it, and one of the things it does is it only goes through things once, and it does it all in with binary, because it's basically checking everything. So the way it does it, if I remember correctly, is we need to say let solid equal, and we need an array that is of, in this particular case, we probably want it to be a const up here. No, where are we getting this constant? This const. We're gonna say pub type. It's gonna be called a bin underscore rep underscore face, bin rep face. And this is going to equal, in this particular case, a U16, because a U16 is like is our chunk size. So like if we change it to 32, then we'd do so. So we need this type to be bin rip paste. Okay, but not 0. This can stay underscore, and then we say it's going to be zeros by the chunk. I think it's chunk size, right? Maybe it's as you size. Not like that. Okay. One chunk by the number of chunks. Maybe it's by chunk area. I don't know. So it's something like that, but I think it's actually chunk area. Chunk area. Which chunk area is just chunk size times chunk size. Right. Then we go. So that would just be chunk area then. Like that. Alright. So we may need multiple copies of this because we're going to need like one for every type. So we're going to say. Okay. For. I guess it's actually technically. It's an array of these by 3 because 0 like this. So basically, like this is the X, Y, Z representation of each type, and so then we need to go for X in 0 dot chunk. Chunk size. We need to do this. X, Y, Z. We need to do this 3 times. But we need to iterate it through every chunk, and then we need to say, let I'm going to start with that block. So let if we chunk self dot is it get like okay, get block ID new XYZ. Okay. So we get the block and we say is solid. So if the block is not solid, we're just going to continue. All right. Else it's a representation issue though. So if the block's not solid, their rotations around the same plane. So maybe we should just start with the singular one, which is going to be solid oh god. So this is the X representation. So I guess you would be oh god. I'm baffling myself. We need each I need each fucking. So. And that's it. Each of these blocks, and then we're gonna say that the array runs like that, chopped up like that, within a second. And then array 2 is gonna run like forward, chopped up that way, and array 3 is gonna run that way. We're doing this on the screen where you guys can actually see what the fuck I'm doing. So we're gonna go to paint. I'm gonna go, that's very small paint thing. Okay. So we're gonna go like this, and we're gonna go, okay, we're gonna go. That's a very thick marker. Why was our brush so fat? Can I go to a really thin brush? I don't know how to use paint. Pencil? Okay, pencil. Nope. Okay. Yeah. Nope. Nope. Okay. Nope. I kind of wanted to plug my drawing pad in. Maybe we'll just plug my drawing pad in. I don't know if this is going to work because I have not used my drawing pad in goddamn eons. I don't actually know where my pen is. So hopefully this thing works with just touch and not a like requirement to use the pen. I've also built something on it at some point. Oh, there's my pen. Don't mind me. I'm totally professional, you know. So we need to plug in somehow. Somehow this connects. Motherfucker, is this like not the connection that I was expecting? I was hoping I could just plug it in with a USB C cable that I had on my desk, but it appears to use the USB-B cable. Is it this one? Oh, that's USB. At what point do I give up and bail on the drawing pad? No. Ooh. Yep. Then we can put that over here. Here, we're gonna go. This is gonna be the dumbest thing ever because it's probably still not gonna work particularly well. Hey, today connection noise. That's a good sign. Question: Is it installing drivers or is it just not working? It connected. I heard it connect. The question is it installing drivers or is it just not gonna work? Come on. Wish there was a way I could tell if it was gonna work. Probably should have checked that. Yeah. Don't plug that. That's not what we want though. Or do I need to like install software to make this thing work like at all? Okay. Well, I'm dying, so we'll give up on that for now. Maybe next stream I'll have that working. It's cool to be able to plug in the drawing pad and have it like do things. Anyway, I had to recreate my horrible sketch that I did on paper onto the screen. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go you. So this is our chunk, right? And it's gonna have all of our chunk data, and it's gonna extend like this off into the infinity. Not an infinity. In this particular instance, we're drawing a chunk that's 2 by 2, and then we're gonna have an array that runs this way. That's gonna be broken up into bits that way and layered like that. It's gonna be another U16, another U16, and then there'll be a different one that runs this way, right, and has a U16 representing all the bits. What? Yeah, that way. Right, and then there's going to be one like this. Right, and another like behind. Okay. So that's our drawing. You know, it's appalling, but we'll bring that over there. And then we're going to say that the X one, which is this one, is going to run. X represents the bit. Z represents the index inside of the array. So first off, this is it's number 11. I think it goes to 0. So this is the X, and then we're going to say no, is it here that we say 0? Okay. If I do this is where I use the type thing, because then I can see what type it is. We say let X equal this. And we go, what type do you return? Okay, so it's that, which means they can do this, and then we say 0, which means that you are the representation of the actual place. And then that's okay. So we're doing the bottom one, which means that the X is represented by the number. And then, okay, right, which means that this is going to be depth first, then height, which means that it is the Z plus Y cap blocks on Y times chunk size. All right. So this is our position Z, Y times chunk size. This, and then we're going to XOR it, just OR it, OR equals, and then it's 1 shifted left, right? It is left shift to make the numbers bigger in binary, by X, right? And then so X needs to be as U16, because for some reason Rust's impossible. Rust doesn't like you mixing types here. So if you're going to bit shift something, you have to bit shift it by the type that it's going to become. Cannot index this array. So we have to do this, and then we index by as U size. Okay. Cannot assign. Okay, so we need to mute. Let's mute. Okay. So if I can stop dying for a second, we are going through, we're checking every block, and we are then assigning each block inside of our solid array as being the corresponding block, and then that array has 3 constructions, being Y and Z, and they're all the same except this one's Y and this one is Z, and then this needs to change. So the representation of where'd my picture go? The representation of Y is that that's Y. Yeah. So the representation of Y like this is Y represents that way. Then we're stacking them in the Z direction, which means it's Z and then X, right? And then this one would probably be X and then Y times Z. Okay. Oh, it's the Z one, yeah, Z. Z's this one. Why am I stacking the Z in the Y direction? That's not how that works. Anyway, it should be like this. Anyway, this is a terrible fucking drawing. So that gives us 3 binary representations, one being where the Z is the number, and then one where the X is the number, and one where the Y is the number. And then we should, once we've populated our 3 arrays, be able to do bit manipulation in order to determine like if any block is solid, I guess. So We need to be like let visited. Let mute visit visited equals 0. Well, it needs to be 2 arrays. It needs to be 0, and then it needs to be like by 6 this time because there's a top and a bottom, not just an X and a Y. Right? And then we need to say it's by, is it chunk area? I guess it's chunk area, isn't it? Because we visit the top, the bottom, the left, the right. Yeah. And then it would also have to be like by chunk area because we only care about a single slice. All right. Why am I not chunk? Why does it let me? Okay, I don't care. So that mute visited equals this. Except this type is chunk area. This type is bin wrap face by 6. Okay. This is okay. Mm-hmm. Just mentally trying to map this out because I'm sick and I'm trying to remember a memory of a memory at this level. So I feel like what we want to do is we want to iterate through, like we did up here when we filled it in. We want to iterate through every block. Except we want to say for face in 0 dot dot 0.0.6. Okay, so because there's 6 possible phases we could be iterating through. Okay. Okay. So first is we need to check to see if it's solid. Which, in theory, these should be 3 mappings of the same. We're just literally swapping which way it is because we want to be able to use binary encoding to extract. So we have to, because we're going to bit shift later, we have 3 copies of the same data in different representations, which means if we request if solid x plus y times chunk size and we have to make sure it's in the correct one, which is x plus chunks. So that's the z one. Maybe we should just go to z then. As u size 0, right? So this is the top one here, and then we're going to say and this time. So we're going to and if this and 1 bit shifted x as u16 times. So we're going to pull out the representation of the x row. Then we're going to AND it with the 1 shifted to the correct x position. If the value is all right, if this equals 0 equals 0, then we want to continue. Because if not solid, we continue up here, which means if it's solid, we set the value to 1. So if the value is not 1 currently, we continue. Okay, so that sets that value to 0. Okay. Here's the issue. We need to write through Z. No, see, I don't think it'll work. I really should just look at someone else's code for this, because this is... So we iterate through X, Y is Z first. So this should always be the same, because we should always just check any of those three to work out if it's 0, and therefore checking the same one each time should, in theory, allow for the computer to optimize for the cache to always contain that. The cache should hopefully contain the whole thing, but in theory, the optimized cache should therefore always hold that one. Actually, in this particular case, we're going to iterate through Z first, which means we should probably make sure we hold the Z representation, which is X plus Y. Okay, so if it's not solid, continue, which means we're doing the Z axis first. Okay. Okay, and then we need to check visited as well. So we need to say, because we're doing... Oh, we're iterating through X first. Maybe instead of storing a completely separate visited map, we can just store is solid in here. Well, it's gone. Where'd it go? Okay, bring that back. Bring that back. Okay. Instead, we can just store 2 copies of this stuff, and we can say you are stored in 0, 1, you're stored in 2 and 3, you're stored in 4 and 5. Okay. So we're copying 6 copies of data. Okay. So then we're going to go through each X, each Y, each Z. Then we're going to check to see if the current block is solid. Well, we don't want to continue then. I guess it's if it is greater than 0, and then we run the logic inside of it. Do this is we're iterating through Z, which means that we want to be going these 2, which means we want to be using let's say 4, and 4 would be top, bottom, the top. So do top face, and then if, and then we can just copy the whole thing. Copy the whole thing. We say if solid 5 do bottom face. Okay, vertices, indices, merge duplicate vertices. I'm curious. So this should mean that if I run the code now, because it's done literally nothing, I need to make sure that I understand the code enough that I'm not going to be doing this for ages and then realize I'm just going down a dead end. So what we're going to do, we're going to run the code, and in theory, it should be that this code will work, but oh no, it fucking did not like that. Why did you not like that? What is... There's a long backtrack. Something went horribly wrong. Well, I'm guessing it's because we never generate anything. It doesn't like it. Right? Like, all we need to do is, like, generate just, like, a single plane. 0, 1, 2. Okay. So I'm going to say vertex dot extend, and these are like fucking 0 point. I don't know what this 0 point shit is. Okay, can we say three times over, then say dot into this in. Well, first up we need 4 of them, and then these are also 0 F32s. Why are you not liking this? Okay, so do I just... Oh, well, first off, we wouldn't even want to do that anyway, because 4 identical points is not gonna... Okay, the y is always going to be the same. It's going to be you go, I don't know, 1, 1, 1, 1. Multiple impulse satisfy. Do you have a... Well, that didn't fucking work. Vertices extend. Can I dot into... I feel like I've got to dot into each of these. Oh, that's not the right button. Oops. And then we do this. Yeah, no. Type annotation. God, this is... Okay, so if we said vec 3 0 vec 3 1 vec 3 z, and then this is be vec 3 x, and then this is vec 3 new 1 0 1, and then we say dot into. Does that work? No. Fucking. What are you trying to tell me? Okay, can we dot push? I feel like this is what we want to do. Like, cut this to here. I'm going to say dot into that because it's just having a... Yeah, okay. So you're going to be X, you're going to be Z, and then you're going to be new 1 dot 0 dot one dot. Okay. Do that, and then we're gonna say fucking indices dot extend. Then we need to give it in int 0. Copy this and give it in 1. And then why are you complaining? What do you want indices to be exactly? Triangle flag. You need to be a vector. Okay, so is it literally just push, because these are just triangles? Okay. No, that won't. Let's try that. So this should result in each collider just being a small triangle. Hey, and it just happens we're either on a solid chunk or we just happen to be on one of the triangles. Okay. So, except that they form a cross, which means that I think this corner isn't solid, which is somewhat hilarious, but that should just mean that we just need to swap those ordering. Oh. Let's try that. Does that fix the mesh? Because all we're trying to do right now is make sure that we're in a position where things aren't going to be broken. No. Oh, wait. No, it's one of these is in the wrong spot. Maybe this one? Because it doesn't matter which order we draw the triangles in, because we've designed it so we're drawing 2 triangles. Okay, there we go. See, now the line lines up. So we're drawing just that one. Okay, cool. So that means it doesn't crash anymore. So this is its top, bottom. Okay, do top face. So we iterate through the Z, which actually in this case, this needs to be Z. Which means we need to be grabbing Z, because we're iterating through Z, means that X plus Y, and then bitwise Z. Okay, so we're going to get this Z's bit. And then somehow we need to iterate through we need to like let, if we're doing the Z plane, we're doing the Z plane, right? The Z plane. Doing the top, this bit, so like we're doing this plane, but we're starting in this corner, but it shouldn't matter. So we need to like look to see if the one above is solid. If you're solid and the one above is solid, which makes me think we actually want to be in this plane. Let's shift this down. No, doesn't seem right. Say you, and we look I need to look up one. I just don't know what I'm doing. This is half the room. fuck it. Let's just burn all this. Waste of my time. It's like, I know I've done it before, but it's just too complicated to do it in binary when I haven't even got the logic working. So what we need to do is say or bring it back. We just on the iterator. I should probably make a chunk iterator or something that does that little bit for me. Really optimize it in. Oop, no, shift tab. Okay, so for X, Y, Z, and then we say, all right, so we need to get X, Y, Z. We need to let block equal. We need to visit it as well. Get mute visited equals 0 by chunk volume. Okay, so we're gonna let the block equal self dot get block ID. No, XYZ. Okay, then get the block. If block dot is, so if block's not solid, continue. If block no, if visited x plus z times chunk size plus y times chunk area. If visited x, z, y, and gotta end this with whatever this represents. So in this particular case, this is going to be 1 shifted 5. If this is greater than 0, then continue, because that implies it's been visited. So if that returns 0, it means you haven't visited this chunk. Oh, no, if it's if episode 5 is shifted 5 is greater than 0. Okay, equals 0. If you haven't visited this, then we're going to do the logic. Okay, so this is going to be do up. This is down, and then we're going to do this exact same thing again, but we're going to check 4, and 4 is going to represent up. Do up, right? And then the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to say visited. This value. Do exactly this, except it's going to be equals or equals and then you're going to do exactly the same thing. So the very first thing you do is or equals. I'm just going to put a comment set visited true. Same here. We need to so this is set visited So it doesn't really make much sense at the moment because we're checking to see if we've done it and then immediately setting it, but like that'll always be true. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to check. Okay, so this is doing the bottom face, which means I feel like we should say like the chunk volume. Well, then just we'll save this because this is, you know, like still correct. We're going to go through every chunk and we're just going to say let's use that. Okay, we need to get through every chunk. We just need to set its value. We're going to say if block okay, no, we need to let block. So let the block equal this. Except we're just going to if block dot is solid. If the block's not solid, continue. But if z equals 0, is solid let's calculate this here because we use it a lot. Let index equals, so this is the index of the block in the chunk. Okay. I think we have to add oh god, burping a lot. As you size, right? As you size. Right. So we have to say, so if z is equal to 0, then then solid index or equals 1, and when we say this is if z is equal to 0, then the bottom 5 is solid. So it says or self dot get block ID new xyz minus 1 dot is solid. Yeah, dot is solid. Okay, so if we're on the bottom layer or the block below you is solid, or equals the 5 with that. So then we're going to copy this and we're going to say if you are equal to chunk size minus 1, if z is equal to chunk size minus 1, which is going to be set 4, just top, or get z plus 1 is solid.
So first off, if you're not solid, continue. If you are solid and 0, or okay, so it's not solid, and if you're at the top and or the block above you is not solid, set 4. And so we're going to just do this twice more, but we're going to say instead of Z, it's going to be Y, and then instead of being Z minus 1, it'll be Y minus 1, and Y plus 1, and Z plus 1, and then use solid. And then we're going to set this to Y. Y is well, Y is going to be 3, 2, and then X, which is going to be just or it with 1. You're going to get 1, and then is going to be X minus 1. And this will be X plus 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 0. And then this just doesn't. Okay. So, if I'm correct in my mental image of what we're doing here, we're going to iterate through every block. And then in each block, if that block isn't solid, we're going to check to see if it's either on the edge of a chunk, which is what these checks do, if it's 0 or 1 smaller than the chunk size, or on any of the axes. If it's touching the edge of a block, we're going to say that it's solid on that side. And then we check to see if the block next to it is solid in that direction. So if it's not on the edge of a chunk, we check to see if the block next to it is not solid. And then we're going to say you're solid if the block next to you isn't solid, and you're a solid block. If you're not a solid block, you just ignore it, because a non-solid block is non-solid no matter what side you're approaching from. So that should fill out is solid function. Then we should be able to iterate through all of this again. This is very, very dumb. Okay. So we're going to iterate through X, Y, and then iterate through Z. We're going to say, do we need to know your block? Not really. We just know that you're solid. If let index equal calculate the index, because okay, so we have your index. So now we're going to iterate through every block again, but this time we're going to say if let t len equal let len 5 equal okay, let len equal an array 0 that's 6 long. So these are the lengths each block, and we say, and we should be like let width equal 0. Okay, so the length and the width of each like face in our mesh that we're creating, or each square. And we're going to say width should always just be 1, I guess. I don't know. Just like we should try and replicate what we had before, where it's just streaks going through, and then we'll gritty mesh outward and go sideways. So what we do is we say get your index, and then we say
if I think we can get away without using the visitor. Like, is solid. We should be able to flag them as no longer being solid when we visit them. So if is solid index. So this is going to be 6, right? So and 1 shifted 5. So this is shifted 5. Is greater than 0. Oh god, my voice is just going. Okay, so this should in theory, if solid index and 1 5. So basically we're checking to see if the bottom face is solid, right? Then the first thing we do is we go, if it's solid, for I in 1, because no matter what, it's 1 dot chunk size. But except it's not 1, is it? We're going to iterate through the Z direction, I think. So we say, so we start at Z. So we're saying check the current block. And we say len, this is len 5, equals plus equals 1. So what we've concluded is that the length and I guess the width 5 plus this equals 1. So your length width is 1. Oh god, this is just atrocious. Okay, so the length and width of your 5 is 1. Okay, so then we say for I in Z through to the end of the chunk size. We say if I mean, in theory, we kind of just want to calculate. We just want to. So for each block, we just want to go like, hey, can you? Okay, let's just go for I in from Z, from current Z to the chunk size. And then we don't really calculate index there. We calculate index in each of these. So we're going to say, I feel like it's still faster to calculate the index there and then just say that index equals Z. No, because calculate. It may be mathematically faster, like on the computer, but it's just more confusing to calculate because we'd need to know the amount of times we've incremented, not the actual offset. Anyway, so what we're doing is we're going to go the index of this particular chunk, which is not, let's see, Z. Okay, so this one's Z, and then we're going to say if is solid if is solid index and 1 shifted 5, then len 5 plus equals 1 and len so we do need to kind of check the index here as well. Damn it. Because we can't increment the width. I'm just gonna Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna stick with the for now, we're just gonna set the width equals to 1 each time, because basically fucking this, if this is greater than 0, which is solid, and okay, these both need to be mutable. Technically, width is unused because it's just always going to be set to 1 if it's valid. The idea being that you'd expand outward, but we need to okay, so and then so if it's solid, we also need to now say is solid index. This should work because I think it's XOR 1 shifted 5. This should work because we only ever get to the XOR equal. We can only ever get to this state if it is 1, which means no matter what, we'll set it back to a 0. So basically, we're going to iterate through, and if the block is 0, we're going to increment the length by 1, and then we're going to 0 it. And then we're going to check the same thing again, but we're going to change this to a 4, this to a 4, this to a 4, this to a 4, right? So it's exactly the same thing, but we're going to do it for 4, which should, in theory, be the bottom face. So we're basically going along the top and going, hey, is the top solid, is the top solid? And then we're extending it until the top is no longer solid. And then we're going to the bottom and we're doing the same thing. We're going along the bottom until we conclude that the bottom is no longer solid. Yeah, this is a key part. We're going to go check to see if I'm correct first. So, okay. So, what we need to do is we need to go, where did we save our lengths and widths? It's in here. Okay. That doesn't really matter because it's again for each block. So then we're going to go for I in 0.6. Right. For each direction, each face of a block, we're going to say if len I is greater than 0, we're going to insert our face, which is do this, right? So we push out 2 sets of indexes to draw 2 triangles. We push these, except this one is the Z. Okay. This is part of the reason why we need to give us directions like up. I clearly have written this before. I've definitely done this somewhere before. We can turn a direction. I don't want to do that. Okay. Anyway, so okay. So can we iterate through directions? Did I implement that? Ooh, I did. Okay. Direction. Iter. Okay, direction iter. As these size. Alright, so if length of that specific direction, which up, down, left, right, forward. Okay, which means I need to change all their fucking numbers to be. Well, I'll make the code more real. Direction. Oh, is this? This is bottom, down. As I think U8. U8. So we need to copy that to all of these, except they're not all going to be down. And then so you were up. You were left. No. Shouldn't really matter because again, like I've done them right. So down, up, left, right, forward, back. Okay, I'm checking the wrong block, but that shouldn't matter because as long as the direction is consistent each time. So as long as I agree that down and up is the Z direction, which it's not, but that's what I've done. Okay, no, we should fix that. That's Z is forward, back, Y is up, down, you are left, and you are right. Okay. Forward, back, up, down, left, right. Okay. And then in here, it's the same thing. So we're iterating through Z, which means that I mean, we're just checking the Z. Like we're incrementing through the Z, but we're looking up. Is solid because I don't have to worry about like orientation either. So you just need to shift by direction. This was again we're incrementing through Z, so this is direction up, I guess. Apparently up's negative Y. This is definitely down. Up. Okay, that's left though, and that is right. And then forward and backwards again, it doesn't matter because it's I never get it right anyway. Okay, so as UA. Okay, so index. That's len 5. Right. So when we iterate through U, we say is up solid, and then we say direction up as U size plus equals 1, and then direction up. Okay, and then direction up as U8. No, not U size, U8. Okay. Okay, you do that, and then we see, then we can go here. And then we go here, and we say it's not up, it's down now. So all I need to prove is that this works once, and then this is very copy and paste code now. Okay, so then we iterate through each direction, and we say direction as you size, so hence doing it here. And then we can say, do we have direction? Okay, directions has this kind of functionality, so it's going to here, and we're going to say collide okay, and this is going to take in self. Right, it's going to take in self, and it's going to return 4 vertices. Okay. And it's going to be just leave that one. Okay. Don't touch this one. Leave that. That'll break everything if I break that one. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna say vertexes dot extend I dot collision vertexes, and then this needs a length and a width. Len width. len I width I as year size. Whoop. Alright, so this should... Yeah, it expects... Okay, so we need to give it a length. Then, which is a... and a width, which is also I32. Right, and then you're going to return a vec3 by 4, and then we're going to match self. Right, so up. So up was this one, I believe. We kind of need to run the game to know for sure, but I'm like 90% sure this was up. It could not be up. But anyway, no wait, this is definitely up and down. It's just the... Okay, so this is Z. Okay, so width as F32, and then this is len as F32, and then this is... it doesn't need the into. It also doesn't need the push. Okay. This is where you get the copy pasting code everywhere. So it's 0. It really shouldn't be 0, but okay. So X is just new. This is len as F32. 1. Because this is up. Up is 1. I guess it's 0.5, isn't it? And this is also 0. Oops. Delete the whole thing. That's so much red line. It's so hideous. And then it's Z, but it's not Z, it's new 0. But 0. And then this is negative 0.5, and then this is len. Wait a second. Len's always Z, so this would be width. And then we do that. There we go, okay. So, your positions are 0, this, and this. And then we should be able to, like, map it. Dot map. And then we need to offset it by the block's position, which is good. Basically we're going to say v times vec3, no, not times, plus vec3 new x, y, z as f32 as f32 as f32. Do you just return that then? So we map it and then we dot into. Yeah. Okay, fine. Because I can't seem to work it out for v in Yep, okay. And then we're going to say vertices dot push v dot into. I really can't be bothered trying to work out what I'm doing in the Rust compiler. It's just erroring, and it's just too much for the moment. Sick brain does not want to do it. And then we say dot map. So I think technically it's like this. And then and then we say I plus vertexes.len. Like that. As u32. Right. It's like it's do that. But for 1 and 0, then add all the indexes, because it's like 0, 0, 1, 2, 2, 3, 0, which means that if we take the length and we add the len and then we insert them, then they should be in the right spot. And then we insert that, and then we do it, and we go, okay. So it's only if the len is greater. Okay, and then we come down here. Okay, this is going to completely break unless we put this before. So we might just leave it just so that it doesn't break everything. So we'll just put this up here and go like, hey, can you like insert the backup data just before? And then we'll just wrap this in like little fenced off area. We'll give it a little thing that says like temp to stop crash or something. Temp needs to be a comment. Temp stop crash. Alright, so that's just there so that it doesn't crash if this doesn't generate anything. And then so we go through each block, and we basically calculate a length and a width for each block by iterating through Z. We iterate through the Z from where from the block currently onward. And then we say, hey, this is your index. If the block next to you, if this block is 0, so starting with the block we're currently at, if it's solid, then its length becomes 1. And the width becomes, the length goes by 1 and the width becomes 1. Then we go, hey, the block in the Z direction, if that's also solid, increase the length by 1. And then we go, if the block in the next Z direction is also 1, continue growing it. We do this for both of these. So we can iterate through all the way to the end of the chunk. Ooh. No, see, that won't work, will it? Because it's going to continue iterating even after. Okay, so we're going to have to split this out. We're going to say else break. So we need to do it on, like again, it becomes that we can iterate through everything the same, but we have to break when we reach a non-solid block, because if we don't break, then we just keep iterating. And then you'll end up with weird lengths, because you can iterate beyond, like, you know, if it has a break, it'll just be one shorter than the chunk length, which is basically smooshing it all together, which is not actually what we want to implement. So hopefully this will generate that. So we work out basically for each block the length of the Z run for the top, the length of the Z run for the bottom. And then we go through here and say, hey, any of the lengths that aren't 0, so if there was actually a run, we then insert all the vertices, we insert the indexes, and then we insert the vertices that those represent. And then they should, it's going to probably offset by half a block because of how the numbers add up. Like it should be plus a half. But like, look at this. I don't know if it's correct, but well, that's definitely not correct. They're all slanted. Fuck. I should probably remove gravity from myself. Did I do that? Yeah. I can. Alright, I'm going to disable gravity on myself. Player controller. It's where do we spawn the player? Got to be in the player controller. When we spawn you, spawn player. Go to spawn player. I'm going to say like, you are not a dynamic body. It shouldn't break anything because you know we're just removing the fact that we're a dynamic body. So they're just hello, Theo Paris. Oh God, my brain is cooked. Sorry, I'm sick, so I literally cannot think at all. And then I've decided I want to do binary manipulation. So something has the wrong Z set. Now, what's interesting is it does seem to be working in the sense that, as you can see, like it's all in the right spots. It is offset by 1 or like by a half, so we need to push it like a half in the to get it to line up because it should be the top and the bottom, but something's connecting them to the wrong layer. And obviously, like there's nothing on this layer because they've all no. There should be the bottom of the block should be generating something. Probably much harder to see because it's gonna be solid all the way to the end. I don't know where the bottoms have gone. Like it's at the right height, yeah? Like let's see. That is very bizarre. Like I think the way is you should be out a little bit, yeah? So it needs to come forward and left a little bit. It's only generating those. Then they seem to pivot down. Okay, so we're gonna work out why the Z's wrong on those. Make the code bigger. So we need to go back to wherever the hell we were. Okay, here. Let me make it so that I can read. Let's see. So something, which I mean, this is the only spot that returns the wrong thing. Up. No, okay, so up is always positive. It's down that isn't. And for some reason, we never generate down? Why does down never get generated? They both need to be positive. Alright, so this should stop it from like pivoting down over its length like it was. Possibly? Steel seems to be heading down. It's just not heading down as much. Ah, because yours new. Okay, so you would be 0, 0.5, 0. Right. And then you would also be 0.5. So all the up has 0.5 as it's because for some reason I was setting them to 0. That's clever. Well, I'll get there eventually, but just let me drink more energy drink. That'll power the brain up. Right. So it does seem to be working. We just need to move it. I think that's negative. Not sure though. We just need to move it down and to the left on all corners. Like everything just needs on the top needs to move down and to the left. Let's see if it is down and to the left by making that 0.5. So that should, in theory, when we restart it. Did that move it in the right direction? No, that seems very much to have moved it in the wrong direction. Which I think is good because it means it's negative 0.5, which means I don't think I need to tweak anything because it is just... Right,
I'm either gonna have to replace all these minuses with positives, or I won't. Who knows? Alright, run that, and then see how this runs. It should hopefully line everything up. I'm still unaware. Hey, look at that. Okay. Why do you have no collision? I suspect I've got some kind of optimization going for one thing. That it is literally checking the block next to it. As you can see. Like, it means that these chunks are obviously rendering before these chunks are created. I didn't know I did this, because as you can see, it's generating colliders, even if the chunk's unreachable, but it's only generating mesh if it's reachable. When did I do that? I mean, it's anyway, this isn't generating anything, because it's generating a solid block. Okay. So definitely all seems to be working. My only question is, why does it generate no bottom stuff? Right, we do need to check that there are no vertices. But that doesn't make sense, because it shouldn't be possible. Ah, code, yeah. I was going to say, it shouldn't be possible to generate no vertices, and that's what this check's about, but it is possible because we're not checking every side of every block, which means it is possible that no top of a block is exposed, but a bottom block is. Anyway, what are we doing wrong? Chunk size, X, Y, Z. We're checking index and one of direction down is greater than 0, and direction down. So we have inverted up to down, and we do break, and we do get to here, and then we do iterate through every direction, and then we do say that if len I is greater than I need to check to see if you ever get here, because you're not crashing, and that implies it's never getting to none, because it's like to down. Like, does that make sense? I up is 0, down is 1. Okay, so it kind of implies that there's no. Well, actually, that makes sense, because I don't think anywhere in my entire thing, like, because again, I didn't realize that at some point I'm calling. No, because I am saying I'm just skipping over of direction down. Do I just call get block? Like, no, because I saved 0. If z equals 0, well, I guess it's y. If y equals 0, you are solid. I don't not entirely following why it's not crashing, because I'm literally just got it to do. Can I or 0 direction, yeah. If len I is greater than 1, it kind of implies that nothing on the down direction is ever greater than 1, which doesn't make sense, because all down checks, and this is up, all down checks it just looks down. This doesn't make sense. I'm not following why it's not crashing. All right. have set them ordered down. So I don't know. I don't know. Let's see if we can get something else working, because it is possible that down and up are getting blended together somehow. So next, that was Z. So the others, the other two can both go along Y. So it doesn't really matter. Like, so what we're going to say is Y. It's going to start from Y and go to there. We're going to say Y and then go to Y. And then we're going to go, yeah, everything's the same except this is, it'll be like left. 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 And then this would be right. 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 And right. Now this should work, and if it doesn't work, that implies I've got something wrong. Okay. No, I mean, it shouldn't work. And the fact that it did tells me I'm doing something wrong, because it should be crashing, and crashing hard. Alright, now if I just pop up here and said, hey, you break, and you break this for loop, which means that blend up. Something is definitely wrong. We must have like it's an up somewhere. Yeah, so like they're just not generating anything at all. Which, I mean, is one way of not breaking, I guess. And that implies if up's not working, then it must be in here. So hand up. If Y. Okay, so it's definitely running this code. But these are all just copies of each other. So what we need to do is say, does the chunk contain the self dot ID? Do you have ID? Yeah, you do. Okay. So we can, in fact, just print out like a specific chunk. I don't know what chunk we would want to do. We'd want one of these chunks. The issue is it's really hard to work out which chunk is which. Somewhere around here, there's probably just a block. There it is. This is 0, 0. I believe. So we would want like Y5 or something. I think. How many chunks do you reckon are here? We can count it. Alright. So this is 1, 2, 3. So we want 0s 4. 0, 0, 4. Okay. So when you get to here. Okay. No, when you get to here, we're gonna print out and be like, if self dot ID equals 0, 0, no, chunk ID. No, 0, 4, 0. If we're in this chunk, we're just gonna print in debug with a format of 08B. I think that's how you do that. Comma is solid. So this should print out. Okay. Fine. We kind of want to look through everything like this. Do that. Do that. In. Maybe we want to do like a single slice. But I also don't want it to be the top slice, do I? Well, I guess I do want it to be I want it to be the bottom slice. Because just going off this, like this is clearly where a chunk. This is the top of a chunk, which means this is chunk 4, 5, 6 or something. I don't know. So we just want the bottom slice. which means we don't need to iterate through y. We're just gonna say this, and I'm gonna say let index equal x plus z times chunk size, right? And then we're gonna go I guess it's print 0 it's print 0 0 6 because there's 6 faces b. I need to wrap it like this, and then that's going to be in solid index, right? So we do that, and that should print each block, and then the end of here we say print line, and then just print a blank, and this is just print. So this should print out let's see, so that should print like chunk laid out. I probably want to be like, come on. Did it even get here? That's the question. It doesn't look like it, so that means that this is not the right chunk. So we want to try chunk higher, maybe 5, or it could be a chunk lower because it's 4. I guess it's a chunk lower, so it's probably going to be chunk 3. It's probably 3 because I counted to 4, which means 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the primary thing being, no, still not printing shit. So I'm directly over 0, 0 here. Right, we need to go like -1, +1, 1, 1. Still not printing anything. I don't get it. Why are you not printing anything? Yeah. 2. Went 1, 1, which is going to put you there or here. Alright. Right, if we re-enable this, we'll be able to just find a chunk that prints something, because this works, obviously. And then when we get to here, just print. Self.id. That, or we're going to discover that they've all got the same ID, because I may not actually be using the ID correctly. Not in a my mouse. Not in that the ID is wrong. It's that I may not actually be passing the ID to it at this point, and then therefore it's just never assigned, and therefore it's just always 0. Nope, it's definitely changing. And so we want to go with, first off, we want one that has like the lowest, closest to 0 value. So, oh, don't say that, apparently. So as soon as it starts printing anything, say 0, 2, 1. Did I say 0, 2, 1? 0, 2, 1. Alright. Now we have a chunk that'll work. We went 0, 2, 1. -1 apparently. -1. Alright. So this should print something at the very least. Well, it should have. What's concerning? It should be seeded, so there shouldn't be any randomness, but the order maybe not be. which means that the order the chunks generated is random. But that shouldn't really matter what I'm doing, because I think the world's seeded, which means that I should always get the same chunks generating the same values, which means eventually it'll print this out, which is that for some reason it never sets anything more than just the one, which is that block's empty. Okay, so something is going wrong, because according to this, none of the other blocks are ever solid. Right, so let's go up here, go is solid. One bit shifted left. Okay, is it is it shifted right? Is that the problem? Does it need to shift it right by this many? It's probably that I need to shift it right by that many. Hence, the only one that works is forward, because I'm pretty sure, or top, up, because up is 0, so it's just 1 at that point. Is that what I've done wrong this whole time? Is that it should have been shifted that way, and therefore we were always getting 0 because we were shifting 1 off into oblivion? That makes sense. Hey, look, now they're not just 0 all the time. Hence, these blocks are all still correct, these blocks, and then okay. Well, the question is, did the rest of the code work? Because I'm still surprised it hasn't crashed. It should have just crashed then. Ah, right. It's not crashing because, again, the rest of the code's not checking the right direction. Right, so you're not shift that way, you're shift that way. Which I hate, because it does the double parentheses thing. This should crash, and it should crash at a very specific point, which is when it requests yeah, it should panic at not yet implemented. Here, down. And then again, because we don't have to worry about the actual mesh direction, we should be able to take this code verbatim and then just flip the Y. Well, possibly not, because this may cause it to extend out in the wrong direction. We may need to flip 2 of those vertices because of the fact that the... Right. We probably want to just comment out these 2 just to double check that we can copy that verbatim. Because these are the 2 Ys. And therefore, I'd have to implement them as well. And we just want to double check this, because if I'm going to copy paste code, I'm going to make sure I copy paste the right code. Is it sticking out? I don't see it sticking out, which tells me that it is, in fact, working correctly. I think, well, these ones are all solid, and if they're solid, it doesn't do it, which means it should only be where the top and the bottom are, which means we need to find ways to be one that doesn't extend out, and it doesn't seem to be sticking out. We need one that's like exactly the layer of, like this one. A. Okay. So, as you can see, the collider works properly because it extends it. And it's in the right spot because the length is the right way. Right, this is all done there. Because it's only if it doesn't have a block above it. Okay. Wait, below it. Doesn't have a block below it. Which is the only place I can check. Again, need to find somewhere where there's a chunk boundary. Somewhere one of these has a solid big empty chunk missing. And if it's got a big empty chunk missing, it means it's a chunk boundary. Yeah, this one. Which means if I go here. Okay, that definitely seems right. Obviously, like, it still looks stupid because it's lots of lines, but once we've worked this, we can work the width as well. Working the width should work fairly easily because it should just be as simple as extending it to expand squarely rather than longwise. Okay, so for y, okay, so then we just need to come here and go left here. So left means negative x, which means that I need u to be, well, apparently I'd imagine that it's still negative 1, negative, 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 but possibly not. Left is negative, so it would probably still be negative, negative, negative. It's just that these are all the negatives. So you would just be negative 5, 0.5, and you would also be negative 0.5. And then the width, again, I don't really know what direction it's going. So I'm guessing we're going to be up and down, which means that this is going to be their width. Right. No, because we're moving along the y-axis. Yeah, so that means it's probably something like height, length. Well, yeah, of course it's going to crash because I haven't pasted it in all the places. And then you would probably, oh yeah, we've left you negative. Wait, no, we didn't. We flipped you, right? Yeah, I think. I think. Yeah, all the y's are negative, all the y's are positive. Okay, which means that if you're left all the negatives, and then they're all positive, because that's right, and then we go. And then this should work because we haven't done forward and backwards, which means there's nothing to call the unimplemented code. Hey, look, it's on the right face. And then, in theory, if we just fly over the other side of the hill, they should all be correct, and they're all running up and down. I don't think my code's extreme enough to, do I? I don't think I have block breaking code. Oh, well, I have some kind of code. That face doesn't have one. That does. That doesn't. Okay. I don't know why that block. I don't know why that chunk keeps streaming. I suspect it's because it's going out of render range. Like it's getting frustum culled because the chunk's too far away. Which we'd have to fix somehow, but I really can't be bothered. Means that all we have left to do is a cheeky forward and backwards, which is again like, in theory I can just copy this, paste it here, change it this to forward, this to back, and then it should only be the the width. So you'd be width minus 0.5, and you would be with minus 0.5, right? And then I don't know if you'd be all negatives or all positives. I think back would be all negatives. No, back would probably be all positives because I think in Bevy forward is negative. And then same thing here where we just want to put width as f32, as f32, as f32. And they're all positives, which means we just need to remove your width and your width, and then we hit run and we see what happens here. So we look on this end and we go, well, there's nothing there. Oh, right. Well, we also have to like check. I've defined the faces, but I haven't actually implemented the checking code. All right. So then we can check, and we're going to still check the Y because it really doesn't matter which axis we check on, but this is going to be forward, forward, forward. Just check the forward and the forward, forward, forward. Okay. And then there's, okay, there's one there. That's for sure. There's not one there. Or there is, and it's underground somewhere. How do I don't know what oh. Okay. It is probably what I'm thinking. Hmm. Okay. That one's still missing. But the question is, where is it gone? It's probably getting placed in the same place as that one. Did I just like not define that properly? Front, back. Oh, negative. Yes. It's probably these both in the negative x direction. Yep, yep. No. That didn't really help. Bounding box because of the fucking placeholder code. What's missing? Where is it though? See, because the only thing I can really do is, well, there's also the possibility that we're just not checking properly up here. Yeah, see, look, because we're checking forward again. It should be back. But somehow I managed to replace it with forward twice. Gotta love that I knew where a bug was, fixed the bug, but it's not the bug that was actually causing me to look for the bug. Right. Hey, look, you have one? You have one. Stop placing air. Hey, collision box all the way around. Okay, so that should, in theory, imply proper collider. As you can see, magic. Magic. Okay. So next is to try and strip it down so that it doesn't generate a million of them like this, because it's only meshing a single axis. And also we should remove that bit of debug code now. Okay. So one thing, gonna commit that to GitHub. So chunk strip mesh working. We're going to commit this. We should remove the piece of debug code before we commit this. Because that was only there so that the game didn't crash when we were testing. Back to GitHub. Commit. Okay, commit that. So, we basically ripped out what was probably the same code that we've implemented it in a way that we should be able to. Oh, so probably should have got rid of this debug code too. Can we just append it? There we go. Nobody saw it. Because we can also get rid of visited, I think. The issue I think here is we kind of need to check in like a stepwise pattern. So really we should change this to like I.
I also feel like these are all doing it wrong. Oh no, because they're again all just doing it Y. So I think we should change this to I. Which was, it was just such a smart idea to use the same letter. That's why I love Rust and its variable overriding. Is because the fact that I can just call it Y, and it means that I don't have to be like, but it was called Z here. It's like, yeah, but it was a different variable. Anyway, the reason I'm changing it to I is because I think what I need to do is start a second loop from the same point, being like, because what I'm thinking is I can I'm gonna go for a different implementation than I've seen most people do, which most people is to like a breadth search. So we'll open up Paint again just to. So if we draw our grid here, right? Like we've got our grid of faces. Oh god, my drawing skills, they are not up to par. Alright, I'm gonna go like this color. I'm gonna say these are the same. I'm gonna go green. I'm gonna go like these are the same, and then we're gonna go like these are the same, and then we'll just like be like these are yellow. So with most greedy meshing algorithms, what they'll do is they'll go, okay, I've got this one, and then they'll step it out and they go, okay, and I've got this one, and then they'll step it out and go, okay, I can do all of these as one. And then we go to the next one because they can't expand anymore. So like this one, and this way, and then it's like, yeah, okay, cool, it's done, and it turns this into one. And we'll do the yellow, and then we'll just say the yellow does this. But what most people's greedy meshing algorithms do is it goes, I got this one, I got this one, I got this one, and like it'll check this way and go, I got this, and then it'll go, okay, this is 4, and then it'll step out and go, okay, this is 6. What I'm planning is to, just for the sake of convenience, I'm going to make mine go like, hey, I got this one. Yep. Hey, I got this one. Yep. Yep. Got this one. And then go, yep, I got this one. And then it's going to go, hey, can I expand this way? And it's going to go, no, because there's a yellow. This can't expand this way. So what it means is you'll greedy mesh this, but you're not, and then you'll get a second mesh going, hey, yep. 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 Right. And the main reason for this, hello, operator whiskey. So my brain doesn't work and I can't read on the best of days, which means that you'll still get the same number of meshes, but it'll be 2 long ones rather than like a wide one and a small little one here. I don't know if this affects rendering at all, having 2 big meshes rather than a really big mesh and a small, like, or I guess 2 medium meshes instead of a really big mesh and a small mesh. But the idea is I'm thinking it'd be much easier to run a length and then just see if that length can have its width extended, rather than extending the length, checking to see if the width can be extended, extending the length, checking to see if the width can be extended. It shouldn't really make too much of a difference to everything, because we're already clearing things as we go, which means that really all we're doing is we're going out. And then here, as soon as you hit something non-solid, else break. Okay, so we're gonna say, I kind of don't want to go if and width. Okay, what we can do is we can just go. I'm just gonna copy this entire thing. It's literally just gonna check itself. We're gonna say, yes. I guess it's else break, but else if width equals 1, or not width, it's if width direction up So if the width is equal to 1, which is just literally like if at any point set your width, we're going to iterate through again, and then you're gonna break anyway. Okay, so if the other option is to not set the width here, and then we say because this is to break, we can just say if len is greater than 0. So if the direction is solid, increase the length by 1. If the direction is not solid, but the length has at any point at any point been set, then we're going to run through this. And what this is going to do is, with first thing we're going to do is we're going to reset our counter back to our beginning. We're going to get our index and we're going to go here, but instead of incrementing length, we're going to increment width. See, the issue with this is we kind of need to go like this. So in this case, it's for Z, but we're going to say for Y in Y, right? Because we're checking the up direction. No, we need to go X. It needs to be along. We need to move along the X because we're checking the Z, and then we're going to check the X plane. And then so for X in X dot dot chunk size. Right. This feels like it's going to nest a little bit. All right. I'm going to say if okay, let index. No, we need to check the X, check the Z, and then we're going to say for let's get the index, and then we're going to say if index is solid, width dot up plus equals 1. So increase the width. No, I feel like we need to say for each X, width plus equals 1. This feels like it should be outside because we're kind of checking shit on. Okay, so it would be so for the first X. So again, we're gonna go width plus equals 1. Okay, so first off, first thing we do, width equals. If the length is greater than 0, width equals 1. Then for X. Is it something like, we'll just mark you as out, right? And then so for X, so it needs to be like X plus 1, right? So we need to go to X plus 1, and then for I, we need to do all this, and we just need to say len equals 0, and then instead of so we're going to iterate through the same thing again, except we don't want to do this. Let and okay, so len equals 0, and then so let index. Okay, so this feels like it's going to be like really chaotic and unproductive, but it is just testing. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a new len, and then we're going to iterate through and do exactly the same thing. And we're going to say, hey, if it's solid, then len plus equals 1, right? Else, if, okay, otherwise, if len is greater than or equal to len okay. So first off, let's find you. Let's call you len. Lens. Maybe we should just call it properly. Length. There you go. Now you can be len, and then we say len plus equals what? And then if len is greater than or equal to length, direction. The idea is that once I've got it all worked out, I could probably abstract this code away to just use the direction, and then we can just iterate over the directions. Okay. So if it's not solid, and then we say else break, and then it's out. So the idea being that we run the code again on the next X up. We go 1X up. Right. And then you should just break. Okay, and then but you should be width. Width direction up plus equals 1. So if the length is the same or longer, plus equals 1 to the width, make it 1 wider. I just called it length, not lengths, because even though I named it as you said, I crack myself up for no reason. So this is getting complicated, but then we can refactor it once we've got it working. Else if length is greater than length, the direction up. Okay, so basically we do the first run, work out the length. Then we step one line over and see if it's, and we do a run there as well. And we go, hey, if your length is the same or longer, increase the width by 1. Then we need to clear it out, which means we need to iterate again. We need to repeat this bit. But this time we don't need to check anything. We just need to get the index, and then we just need to say, and it's not that, it's from Z to Z plus len. Yeah, okay. And then we say index is this, and then we say index solid. That's a lot of fucking, okay. And then we close that. So if the width is the same or longer, we iterate through the length, clearing those bits as being visited because we've increased the width. We can visit, therefore we can visit all of those. And then we break, which means we stop iterating through the Zs. We're done iterating through the Zs. And if it's not at least the same length, because that's why we're iterating through length, is because if it's longer, we don't want to remove the trailing ones. We just want to remove to the width. Or to the length, I guess. All right. And then all right, because we don't clear it. So if this, we increase the length, and then if the length is grow, we increase the width and then visit all of them, and then we break out. And if it's not long enough, we break out entirely, which means stop calculating the width, at which point we then break out of the for loop. Okay. Else we just break out of the for loop. So if you don't find any solids, just break out. If you do find at least one solid block, increase the width by 1. So at least one block exists, increase the width by 1, then check to see how wide you can make it, which in theory means that it'll try to go to the left. And if it can't go to the left, it'll try to go down, sort of thing. Like if you, no, I got rid of my picture again. Okay. Kind of wish I could just be like grid. Nope, it won't let me. Why won't you let me? All right, look at this. So basically, it's going to go pencil. It's going to go this one. And it's going to go. There was one. Can I expand this way? If the answer is yes, it'll expand that way, and then it'll try and expand like double wide that way, like once it hits the end, or at the end of a run. And if it can't expand that way at all, it'll go this way instead. Marking those all as clear, which means that in theory it'll start from the corner and go out as quick as you can. feel like we need to refactor this into a, as long as it still generates the same looking mesh. Well, it's doing something. Doing something. That's really weird. I mean, it's doing what I said. Like, it should in theory be taking up the same number, because instead of doing like one here and a big one here, like a 2x2 here, or doing a 2x3 here. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm doing the most efficient pattern, am I? Because I'm using 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 to do all of those, when it would do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because the idea is that it doesn't matter, because it cuts across here, cuts across there, giving you a square, and then there and there. To cut down on like the visual clutter, surely it's better to do it the other way. The other thing that I'm going a bit odd, right? Because the same thing is it would draw a big square to here, and a little square, little square, little square, little square. So it actually takes the same number of triangles. So it's that kind of thing. Like, hence when we get to the top where we get sort of get square shapes, it's like, what the fuck? How did you do that? That doesn't look right. That doesn't look right for one very simple reason. It shouldn't be able to make a complex shape like that, because it's drawing triangles. We just ignore that. We're just going to ignore that. But like, see here, like it's drawn a really big one because it's a big square. Like, where there are big squares, it'll draw big squares. It's just it's running this way first and going, hey, I'm going to make the longest one I can make that way, and then I'm going to expand that way. Again, how is it doing this? It shouldn't be able to do that. That worries me. That looks like a bug. I feel like I'll fall through this because there's no cross section in this. Like, there's no line through the middle, which tells me that this is not being done. You're visiting all of those. Why are you not generating that? That's concerning. I think there's a bug somewhere. I'm going to turn my looking flight off, and we'll see if we can actually jump through holes in the world now. Okay. We can still fly, which is kind of funny. See, like, all over here is fine. Yeah, see, there's a big hole in the fucking world. But why is there a big hole in the world? Like, how are you visiting? How are you being visited when you're not actually being visited? There's a big hole in the world. Oh, jump up high enough. Jump up high enough. No. Why am I able to fall through just there? I gotta be because I'm clipping through somehow. Get up high enough. I think I gotta clear the AABB. I'm like stuck underground. Okay, get up high enough. No, I can just fall through. Maybe it's like the whole chunk's corrupted because of that small hole. That, or I've just fucked myself because I can just fall underground. No, okay, so like the whole chunk must be corrupted. Like here. Right, that chunk's just not solid. So something's going wrong because I'm clearing these as being visited when they haven't been. So why would they be getting cleared when they're not? So if length is at least 1 with, so we say x plus 1 dot chunk size, or x plus 1 dot chunk size. All right, would that break anything? Shouldn't. And then we say length is equal to 0, and then we iterate through again. That's why we needed to change this to I instead of z, so that we don't use the z that we got up to. Then we say for I in the dot chunk size. All right. Then we say index is equal to x, right, which should be 1 greater, plus I times chunk size. That's chunk area. Okay, then we say is solid index and then we check up. Yeah, no, because it should always be going in the positive x direction. It could be that we're clearing out up here. We clear them as we visit them, but that shouldn't matter because we're already moved off by one line. So we shouldn't be checking ones we've already cleared. And then we say if the index is solid, we increase the length by 1. Else, if the length is greater than or equal to the length of up, which is what you're incrementing, yeah, plus equals up. Okay, we increment our width by 1. Not len. Len, it's length. We're obviously clearing something. Like, there must be situations where, because we're finding length. Yeah. Yeah, because you're incrementing. I guess you could do an if statement, but I feel like the speed of this means that, like, branching is probably not the best idea, in that it's probably quicker just to finish the loop, like always finish the loop, than to branch and return early because of speculative. But that's also something you're going to fucking test. That is basically what was happening. I suspect, because I'm not sure run it to test, is that it was possible for length to be longer than the original length, which meant that it was clearing out some that it hadn't actually got to yet. Somehow I'm still falling through the ground, but I think that's more to do with clipping than, because you can clearly see that the fucking. Why is this not solid? Oh, maybe the direction does fucking matter. Because I was going like it doesn't matter. Like top and bottom can have the same vertices, but maybe it does matter because maybe I don't know, because it's possible that it cares. Because like, can I always just walk through that one? If I can always walk through this face, like walking this way, I always seem to be able to clip through. And then for some reason I always just don't. But if I turn around and walk the other, oh fuck, it's not much fun. Can I clip through here? That's the question. Oh, that's not good. Fucking. I don't actually have any idea how the fucking clipping, how my block placing code works. It is dodgy. He's dodgy. He's dodgy. It kind of works though. Okay, so I can fall through walking that way, but can I walk back out? Because that's. No, I fall through either fucking way. But it could also be that they're both backwards. Because I'm moving that way, and therefore I can fall through it. Whereas, can I walk? See, I bounce off this. It could also just be that I'm doing the physics wrong. Like, I may be locationally changing the player. Let's check that. How the hell do I move my player? Player look, player move. Transforms, that is probably wrong. Yep, okay. We want to go, when we spawn our player, please give us, I think it's impulse. Impulse. No, is it? Not an impulse joint. External impulse. Whenever it is modified, I think this is what we want. we want an external impulse and then a default. Right. And then what we want is to go here, and instead of being like player transform move, we want to go, it's not the player's transform, it's the player's external impulse. Okay, local Z. Oh, we need the transform as well. Because we still need to know which way is forward. So that would mean that we need to turn this into impulse and then transform. Okay, so we get transformed it forward and then look, fucking forward and then fucking calculate the velocity. And then we say it's impulse. Impulse dot something. Torque impulse, no, we want linear impulse. Plus that just equals velocity times, so we calculate the velocity by what the player's pressing times delta seconds times setting speed. All right, let's try that. So this should mean that I suspect why we were getting through the collider is because I'm just telling the player well, somehow I'm inside a fucking block. Velocity plus equals y times 100. Because we're just applying an impulse. It's also possible that we're literally just stuck in the ground. And because before, again, we were just clipping because we were instantaneously playing an impulse. I think we need to be higher. We may need to spawn the player higher. Where we player control. Where do we spawn the player? Is it here where we specify the height we spawn the player? Fucking spatial bundle ground height. Fucking plus 10. Fucking spawn off the ground. You fall to your death. Okay, some of this code is just really badly written. How am I doing it? I spawned you like higher, but you're still under the fucking ground. How? Like, we can't die, so just spawn us really fucking high in the air. No, see, how am I doing this? Something's obviously resetting the player's position, because I am fucking 100% spawning the player really high in the air. What is resetting my position? So what flags the player? Player. Okay, let me just fucking put player. No, I want you to be case sensitive. We are looking for the player plugin. Initial grab cursor move player, look, grab cursor run if in state game playing. Okay, camera plugin, player plugin, player controller. Okay. So we have spawn player, no clip. Player look, player move. Player laser? The fuck? Well, I mean, set player ground makes a lot of sense. For player, mute player, let position, block ID from transform player dot transform, transform pos dot 2vec3 player transform dot y. Where? On exit gen world set player ground. Yeah, but how the fuck do you get the block? Okay, so plus fucking like 10. Ah, I bet you, because it should be plus like 2. How did I end up in the ground again? You suck. Ahem. Ahem. How the fuck did I end up in the ground again? This is doing my head in. Eh. How am I getting... Can you just plus like 100, please? Unless it's like, I literally changed the value to 2 before it compiled, and I'm sure I fell before, which means that something is causing me to... Like, I'm really high up. So, if I just look again anywhere but there, I should just fucking bounce. Alright. Well, apparently jumping clips me through the ground, so I do feel like I need to expand these into big triangle, like big squares, because it's much harder to clip through a big fucking square. I also feel like I need to like magnify the... I'm probably normalizing a fucking vector. That would probably explain why my controller. Don't normalize it, you little twerp. Yeah, vector.normalize was 0. Fuck you. No, do not normalize it. Allow the player to walk faster on a diagonal, because fuck you. I need to be able to jump. Please, let me jump. Pew. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Somehow we need a detective we're grounded, though, because that's too powerful. Like 10, maybe. I'm probably still traveling up. Like, I gave my player a lot of energy. I feel like jump should be handled completely separately, because jump needs to not be every frame. Well, there we go. Somehow, we can still goddamn clip into the ground. Now, my question still stands. I feel like I can clip through that you're generating forces, so they're pushing back. But I reckon if I walk around to the other side, walk into it, it's going to cause a different direction. You see, because some reason, like, no. Why can I clip into the ground then? I don't get it. Like, I thought originally it's because I was generating like mesh underground and it was like it couldn't work out, but it could literally be like if you... no. That's just not solid for some reason. Well, I don't see a cross. Like, there's no beam going across, which means that they're actually just not solid. Like, I'm falling into these because they don't exist. Which, interestingly enough, like, they exist either side of me. But where the fuck is it then? Like... Oh. Does no clip do anything? Like, I completely forgot I programmed a fucking no clip, which, I mean, makes sense. No clip. Does no clip set the fucking player mode to no clip though? No. So we need to be like, state. Not player mode. Normal. No clip. Okay. Normal and no clip. And then we need to sit like init state. Player mode. Like that. Okay. We initialize the state, and then we say, okay, let's say state, res state, player state, player mode, and then next,
mute next, and that's going to be res mute next state player mode. Okay, if player just pressed, no, you need to do all that, but okay, next match RB dynamic. That's not how this works. Okay, we say match state. It's gonna be like .get, right? Get. Yeah, you do this. Right, and then we'll do this. Right, and then we say for p mute p in players p dot p equals so this is normal rigid kinematic position based and then next set player mode no clip. If player mode is no clip, we just want to do exactly the same thing, but we're going to set this to dynamic and we're going to set this to normal. So that's fucking toggle no clip, and then we're going to say player move. Take player move. We're going to say add assistance update. Put this and then the in set playing in. Not in set run if in state player mode normal dot in do I put it in set dot in set playing? I don't remember how this works. So inset playing run if in okay. This one we go to add underscore system. This is going to be an update. This is going to be no clip underscore move. I know that the new Bevy stuff was like perfect for this, but too much. Like already like just starting to hack things together. I don't need to be reading through the documentation on how to implement it so that playing is its own thing. Run if in player mode no clip. Okay, so that we're just gonna go. So what we can do is come down to wherever the fuck normal player laser. I don't know what the fucking player laser is. Okay. No clip move. And then no clip move is going to just use transform again. And then we just nope this back to being transform. And this back to transform. Dot translation. And then we set this just to Y. Except, so basically if you hit no clip,
you go to no clip mode, it completely changes how everything moves. Oh, that is not the right key. What the hell did I do? Alright. What is next? Oh, fuck, hit the same key again. Don't mind me. We'll call it a night soon. Did not just saved a copy of my fucking live dashboard. I don't know where I saved it either. Try this again. Where did it save it? In my icons folder. Okay. Oh, apparently it was cancelled. I think YouTube said no. I don't care because I don't really want it to do it anyway. Oh, I can't inset playing. Oh, inset. No, it's inset playing. Now the hope is that it doesn't, like, that I can chain those two together. I should be able to, because inset should be separate to if running. Yeah, so then if I hit, like, just wait for us to get close, and then we just bounce and we have 12. Excuse me more. Right. No, it's plus, because of course the impulse changes. The impulse needed to be just a sign. Fucking movement is to be a sign. A sign plus equals. Impulse was tell the player to shove in a direction, and then now no clip. Oh, no clip. Thank you. So why then? Why? I think you're actually right, because you're just a solid block. Why do these ones not have anything? Something is assigned the same because they appear to just have no width. I bet you it's because they've got a length of 1 and a width. No, they should still exist. Like the same as you don't exist. Why don't you exist? Interesting. So you exist. But you don't. You don't. So it's probably the same on the other sides, but because there's less variation, it's less likely to happen. So it's they have a, well, did I? Yeah, because it's just a line. Right, like it's not like it's one of the other faces being rendered. It's literally just a line, which means something is going wrong when it gives a width but no length. So why would a length of 1 So I feel like it's got to be an issue with when you put in the value 1, and it's only on the up face. So if I put in a value 1 on width, length, a value of 1 on length, you are -5, a value of 1, 1, -5. Can we put in a assert? Len is greater than 0, and assert width is greater than 0. See, because if len is 1, then 1 - 1 is half. It's like it's always going to be 1. But if it passes in 0, then it becomes -1/2 for two of the values, and it would squish it into a line rather than a square. And it panicked. Width. It's possible for width to be equal to 0. How is it possible for width to be equal to 0? I have no fucking idea, because I have said that if at any point length is greater than 1, width equals at least 1. If this is solid, else if this is greater than 1, oh no, greater than 0. If it's exactly 1, it's not greater than 1. Greater than 0 if you set it, not if it's greater than, okay. That should fix it. No, it's still panicked. Why?
Did I not save my change? No, it probably just means that someone else. Okay, so something is passing a width of 0. The very first thing you do is fucking. Are you checking the same thing? Okay. But yeah, so this is where we could check to see if length is, but there's no way that length can be greater than 0. Because you set width to 1, you set width to 1. So none of the other faces can do it. It's only up that can do it. So with we say if solid up direction is greater than 0, we say that the length is plus equals 1. Right? If the length is greater than 0, as in if it's going to proc the other thing, we set the width to at least 1. And then we plus equals from there. So I don't know how it's even possible. It implies that it can break out of this loop before it gets to this loop. Because you set this to 1, but you can't get to the other else without this being false. So if this is ever set, this has to fire. So how the hell are you getting there? It's got to be breakout is entirely enclosed within this after width is set. So I really don't know how width is. um Well, this just feels like wasted code more than anything. But if we say that width is set there, does it error? Because it could be that something else has been passing in a 0. Nope. So it's literally that just sometimes it... I don't get that one. That one's odd. No, we jumped pretty high. So it probably would be better to go the other way, to grow, because in theory, like optimization wise, exactly the same. Like it's literally the same number of triangles. It's just that I feel just from a visual standpoint, smaller triangles better. Actually, maybe not even, because that one almost certainly would fill all the way, which for one thing is very much, why are you not? Is it going this way or something? And therefore you're absorbing all of those. It's probably that it's starting in this corner, and so it's like you take all of those and then okay, well, that's definitely not faster, but the only way to get rid of that kind of thing would be to say that it can't be wider than it is long. And I feel like that would end up with some kind of staircase effect where you're going to go just that one, you're going to go just that one, you're going to go just that one, because you can't be... But then you would... I don't know. This is beyond me at this point. What do we got going on? Okay. But one thing it should probably be doing is checking the adjacent meshes. I really can't be bothered. Alright. I feel like optimizing more and more of this should be priority, so we should maybe look, like, obviously not for this stream because I think this stream's getting a bit long. How long have I been streaming? For like 3 hours or something. Yeah, 3 hours. So I'm thinking what we could do is we can optimize it so that the chunks can see what the other chunks are doing, which I must have done at some point, because obviously these chunks aren't rendering underground bases, but these ones are, which means that these ones rendered and like generated their meshes before these ones were generated. But we can almost certainly be like, hey, completely underground chunks actually don't really matter though, do they? But I do feel that like these ones should check, because I don't get why they're not filling the whole fucking thing in, because surely these are all and these are all, which means that like you should generate a length of fucking the width. It's out of 0, 0. So yeah, I don't quite understand why this isn't filling the whole fucking thing in. Like, why is it going this way and then stepping over? Why is it not filling the whole thing in? Maybe we're looking at that. I need to remember how to turn off the fucking mesh rendering and just see how large of a world we can render. And then we were like add multiplayer, add mobs. I was supposed to be adding multiplayer this time, but I ended up just rewriting my mesh generation code, but chunk a collision generation code, and it should be working now, which means that if we were to say F12 it, the hope is now that because it doesn't go under the ground, because I still feel like that's why I was able to clip through before, not just because we were moving forward, but possibly just because we were moving forward, but because we were putting things underground, it had no way of detecting what was inside the mesh versus what was not inside the mesh. I must have been clipping myself then, because clearly I can place blocks like this. Weird. Still odd that it disappears when it goes slightly out of frame. Slightly too aggressive on your frustum culling there. Oh, stuck in a block. Stuck in a block. And now we're falling through. And now we're stuck inside. Great. We need to go like 1. And it should replace it with air. Okay. And then 2. The fuck? So left click replaces, right click adds? Oh fuck, what did I do? God, have I made some funky decisions in this fucking code base. Alright. I'm gonna call that a night, because I'm fucking losing the plot at this point. Hope you've enjoyed. I'll push the code to GitHub after I end the stream, and I will see you in the next one. I'm probably gonna do another like Pong video, going from like basic Pong to more advanced Pong, introduce things like plugins. So hopefully, if I'm not too sick tomorrow, I'll work on that. I hope you enjoyed the video, the live stream, and I'll see you in the next one.